Yeah. 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 We're still trying to figure it out. So, we're off Reddit. You know, we're on the LinkedIn methadone, I guess, until we figure out how to do everything. Mm. Yeah, we are. Well, I'm using OBS right now. So, what you're seeing here on the live stream is my camera with the background. Now, I haven't still figured out all the complexities yet. But, I won't bore the audience with that. But I will say that having two of us come together to have different audiences is has been a challenge, and it's been a fun learning experience too. And this is our 23rd episode, and we're constantly making changes. But our main topic is business ownership. And today I read an interesting article this morning about Zen and the art of entrepreneurship. and it kind of struck me. Um, Consider this: uh, what does the word entrepreneur mean? I didn't really think about this before. The etymology of it. Um, so break it down. Entrepreneur, right? There's three pieces. The French, entre means to start. Pre means before, and neur is related to nerves or neurological. And what it essentially means when you string it all together is to begin something before you allow your mind to make you nervous, to dive in with both feet before you second guess yourself. That is literally what it means, is to just go and do it before you think twice about it and lose your nerve. Yeah. Yeah. I have a degree in this and I've never heard it before. So this was like this like moment for me. Like, yeah. Yeah. It's jump in before you lose your nerve, before you second guess yourself. And I think ultimately it to me, that's fair. I mean, that's a fair assessment of what you need to do. Um, it's almost because I've often equated it, at least with my clients, similarly to jumping off the high dive for the first time. at the swimming pool. If you've ever had the opportunity to, go off of one of those 12-foot boards into the deep end, it's kind of scary the first time you do it, right? And sometimes, you just gotta jump off and know that it'll be okay. You know? Yeah. 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 Indeed. I think I've pinned much of my professional career for the last decade on successfully helping people to get control of their nerves and move forward with their dream of business ownership. If I haven't been able to help them to do that, I certainly would have starved. But that also it also makes sense. Like, I don't know if you heard of this guy Richard Branson. He's an entrepreneur too, and he had a saying that at some point you just got to say to yourself, "Screw it, let's do it," which is essentially the a vulgar English version of the same thing as entrepreneur. Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. To begin something um, before you get nervous about it is really, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think interestingly enough, even though we've just sort of dived in with this year, we're trying to do something that is a little on the challenging side, and it's to have two people, two separate places, and then coming together basically as one screen, and then splitting that out to our separate channels, to multiple channels each of us wants to send video to. And yeah, it does. And I think what we're trying to do is sort of that advanced level where you have an audience and the streaming destinations, and so do I. And we may have multiple for each. And yet we're still trying to get both audio and video content from both of us simultaneously out to those things. It's like we're a mini TV production company. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Well, that's it's been a fun journey. It seems to morph and shape and evolve as we continue to do it. Um, and I've been enjoying it. All right. This is 23 episodes we've been doing now. That's a lot. Um, I through my OBS I can, and if you look at the Restream, Restream has a column off there on the right um, that says messages from the audience will display here, and that's where you can see the comments. But that's only for yours. So I have another one of my own that's sort of a built-in window in OBS here. So if anyone has comments, we're happy to address them. Um, right on. So yeah, I think that what's the best way to get a hold of you, Jake? Is that through LinkedIn? I am too. Oh, it was a byproduct of. Well, I'm always looking for entrepreneurial topics, but this one specifically was a byproduct of me trying to figure out the name of a podcast that I could do, and so I was making sure that there weren't other names already out there for the things that I wanted to name. That's a great name. Yeah, yeah. So I was really thinking about the Zen and the Art of Business Ownership was the thing that I was looking for. Um, I did. Very influential book. And I think that there's a lot to that that applies to business. And, I'm a motorcycle guy. I'm a mechanic too as a hobby. And so when I opened the book, I mean, I'd been told that it wasn't about motorcycle maintenance, but it kind of was in a way. But just tangentially, it was mainly a philosophical book about, you know, what's going on in your mind and how to approach things. And I think that that's a really good book to read for anybody who wants to run a business because it really is about controlling your own mind and being in the moment and not being consumed by your anxieties. Yeah. Yeah. I think that the, well, the thing that I pull from that book, but also it was a mantra that we studied in grad school is that your everything that you do and your whole destiny starts with how you think, right? So your good thoughts lead to your good deeds leads to your good character leads to your destiny. That's how we approached it in grad school. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance touched on the same topic, but in a different set of words. That's the big thing that I take away is, shape your thoughts first, right? And the whole Zen of it is the Zen is all about like clearing the mind in a way. And it's the monkey mind. It's the anxious chatter that is sort of biologically built into us. I mean, we're all just sort of anxious, violent apes after all that are just smart enough to be dangerous. I mean, that's what we are. So to the extent that we can control that and allow our mind to evolve a little bit beyond those anxieties, that's what gives us the power to move on. And that's the wellspring of the courage and the determination and the optimism that it takes to run a business. And so that's my big takeaway. Very, almost always, but I'm just letting a little air out of the crazy balloon today. I agree. I had a conversation interestingly with a guy this morning who was a prospect, and he said that I'm not in it just for the money. I'm like, well, that's a good first acknowledgement, because if you're in it just for the money, you're in it for the wrong reasons, and that's all about this me thing, right? But if you can get a little beyond yourself, he's like, he said, I got to have a purpose. Like that, there's a problem that I'm solving for others. And to the extent that you can think less about yourself and more about others, that's also a Buddhist philosophy too, is that if you want to be miserable, think only of yourself. If you want to be happy, think first of others. That's a Buddhist mantra. And this guy was saying that. I'm like, yeah, you're on the right track philosophically. This is good bones for, taking an approach towards running a business or philosophy. Yeah, there is chaos. What's what are you dealing with this week? What's going on in your world? Yes. Hmm. That glass rocket ship is an excellent metaphor. I've been sitting here thinking about what it would be like to be hurtling into space in a glass rocket. I didn't feel very good. Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could explode, or he could drown in paperwork, which is another thing that happens. The unsexy part of entrepreneurship is all the registrations you have to do, and yep. Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm in. I've enjoyed it. For our watchers, hey. Yes, thank you. Good to see you, Jake. All right, you too. Bye bye.